Today, I just wanted to talk. I thought, this life is limitless unless I limit myself. That's what I wanted to talk about. When I'm looking back on my life, and I was like, wait, if I didn't, put limitation on myself at that time, I could have taken that opportunity, and that could have led me to the place where I want to be right now. Did that make sense? So I was like, but everything, like at the end of the day, everything happens for a reason. So I don't blame myself for that. Maybe it wasn't my time. So, everything, circle back if it's meant for you. So maybe that wasn't my time. It's, yeah, it's off topic, but it's okay. It's just whatever. Yeah. And, but this life, like, sky is the limit. Limit is the sky. What was it saying? Kind of like that. Sky is the limit. Your life is limitless unless you limit yourself. Sometimes we put ourselves limitations without us realizing it, and that is kind of like tricky because it works as like limiting beliefs, and that would always be in our way to success or do some sort of things we've always wanted to do, our purpose here. I've been watching like videos or on my YouTube for you page, in my feed. I get like, you are the God. You are like God in human body, kind of like these contents. And I was like, there's no way I am God. I don't have superpower. I am not like, I am normal, ordinary human being. So I was like, what are they even talking about? I am not like judging them or anything, but I couldn't just resonate with that. But I watched this one video, like this guy was talking about like we are like same thing, we are God in human body, because like what he was talking about was, if you think like oh, I want to drink Coke, like in your head, in your imagination, you will take action in reality and get the Coke and you will drink it, right? So you are materializing. Does that make sense? Like, you are making your imagination come true in this reality. Does that make sense? So you can turn your imagination into something tangible in this reality. That means like you are the creation. So that's what people call God, like creation. So you are also the creation. I hope that made sense. But in my head, I was like, oh, yeah, that's true. Creation. Yeah, I can create in what's in my head. Yeah, that's true. It was just like, drinking Coke, for example, but there's so many, like, there's sometimes we like imagine, or we have goals, or like some sort of achievements to make in our heads, but we take action for it. We work really, really hard for it, and eventually we make it come true. So we are creation. So that means you are God, I guess. So yeah, I was like, yeah, creation. We are God, because we can create things from our imagination, based off our imagination. Yeah, I hope that made sense. But yeah, so, and I also heard like what you can imagine is what you can make it come true. As long as you can imagine, that means you can make it come true in reality too. So I was like, how powerful we are, human beings. It's not maybe 100%, and it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of time, most of the cases. But but we're still creation. We are creating our reality. So we are creation. We are the creation. We are God. I was like, interesting. Yeah, that is true. So I have no idea what I was gonna talk about with this. Yeah, so, but life is like literally, your life is in your hand. Sometimes it doesn't seem like it. We cannot control external things, what's gonna happen, when it happens, how it happens. Like, these things we cannot control. But I know this because I used to be very insecure by myself, and I was always blaming myself. I hated myself a lot. So, but limiting yourself, that means you are kind of like insecure about yourself. You feel like you're unworthy or you are incapable of achieving like these things you want to achieve, or believe in yourself. And like confidence says it all. Confidence like matters with this topic. So what I did, honestly, I don't know what I did, but I think I started to put focus on what I have done, and I am trying to give myself enough credit for these achieving these things or done these things, because a lot of things, like some of them I didn't complete, some of them, wasn't something I wanted to do, but it takes a lot. It takes a lot to just live, just exist here. So, and for me personally, I think everyone is not giving themselves enough credit for what they are doing, what they have done so far, because we are constantly focusing on what we like, the outcome of everything. But sometimes, or most of the time, within the process is also important, or most of the cases I would say process is the most important part, because the outcome will catch up with you later. Yeah, we tend to focus on just the outcomes of everything or what's on the other side, but the fact that you are taking action for it, you are working hard for it, or you are still you are even in consideration, you are consider doing it, or you are kind of like trying to clarify the pathway or the way to get it, and it takes times to get the actual tangible outcome most of the cases, right? So we tend to like, within that process we like question ourselves, or am I doing things right, or is this really for me, or is this really going to happen, or these like questions happens. But the fact that you already took action, you are taking action, you are considering doing it, or like within the process, it's also like should be celebrated, and you deserve to be celebrated by yourself, because no one will do that for you unless you do it. So does that make sense? It's up to you how you want to live your life. So maybe it is cringy, maybe it is like, for some people it doesn't make any sense. But it's not like you're doing it for others, it's just between you and you. So you don't even need to tell what you're doing, Does that make sense? Like you can do whatever you want. And it's just like, it wouldn't hurt to try it, and it wouldn't hurt anyone to do it, to give yourself enough credit, or focus on what you have done so far. So, but I used to care, like whenever I try to do something in my life, I used to always care what others think about it. Maybe it's cringy, maybe it's weird, but it's not like I am doing that in front of them, or it's not like I am doing stuff like that. But don't care. It's your life, and you can do whatever you want, and you can live however you want to live your life as. So, and it's up to you. But in my opinion, I think that helped me to boost my confidence. So yeah, you can try that, and there's so many things. Affirmation, or this is so weird, and this might be, I don't care, but I like to talk to myself, obviously I am doing that too in front of the camera, but sometimes I do that in front of mirror, looking into the mirror and talking to myself, like, face to face to myself, and, you know, saying good things, or what you have done, or like appreciation, or these things. I first time did that, it felt really really weird, and I was like, I don't want to do this because it's too weird and it's so cringy. But now it helped me a lot to build up my confidence again, and now I am totally different from the version of myself a year ago. So I think I would say it helped me a lot. So you can just try that, because it doesn't have to be, it's, you can just keep it keep it a secret. So you don't need to tell anyone about it. So, and it's for free. And it wouldn't hurt to try, right? So yeah, that's also a confidence. Yeah. And what else? What else I did? I just accepted. That is also one of the biggest lessons I've learned from my life. But acceptance, accept everything as it is, and zero self-hate, self-criticism. That's what I've been trying, because sometimes I used to hate myself. I used to criticize myself. I used to blame myself a lot. So sometimes I go back to that identity, and intentionally do that again, like, self-hate, self-criticism. But most of the time when that happens, it's kind of like when things are not working out, or, I am taking action for something, but things are not going to work out instantly, and things are not going to change instantly. So within that process, I always, criticize myself, blame myself, like unintentionally I do that again. But I thought, like, it wouldn't help me in any ways to, like, criticize myself or hate myself, because it ruins my confidence and my self-esteem, or, stuff like that. So, sometimes I make, bad choices or wrong choices, but at the end of the day, it's happening for a reason. And I think what's really important is not like what you did, but how can I say what's really important? What's like when you done something wrong or bad, what's really important is not what you have done, but what you can do next, like what you can learn from that, and what you can, like, adapt that to your future, your life. Does that make sense? So, like, put focus on different thing, not, it is bad. Sometimes I make mistakes and I do like bad things or wrong choices. And sometimes it considered as bad for a lot of people. How can I word this? I hope that makes sense. But, what I have done cannot change. I cannot change my past. I still do a little amount of like self-criticism or self-hate, but, I will just end it right away. I wouldn't just keep doing it a long time. I do it like a little bit and done. And what you can learn from it, and what you can like do next, like what are the next moves? Think about these, like, things instead of what, like, self-criticism or self-hate, because it's more productive, it's more effective, and it's like, if you hate yourself, if you criticize yourself, it ruins your confidence, your self-esteem, like I said before. This world is kind of like, your focus is really, really important. So things happen in our lives, and there's like pros and cons, like there's like positive side and there's negative side of everything, and they have like, for me personally, like everything is like kind of like double-sided coin. It's like a coin, like, there's a good side, positive side, and negative and bad side. So, but you get to choose where to put your focus on, or how to put your focus on, how to see like these things as the way you see things. That's what you get to decide. So I decided to focus on like positive or good side, because it was easier, because I used to, and I have done enough of living focusing on negative side of everything, and it didn't work out for me. And it was actually what made my life harder, darker, heavier, like not enjoyable, like not like fun. So I was like, yeah, just change it. So now I am adapting. I am trying to change my focus, change my perspective, perception, whatever it is. But I am trying to focus on good side of everything. And I would say it is happening. So that could be also the way to boost your confidence. Yeah, stop self-criticism, self-hate, and focus on what you can, like, even if you done something bad or wrong, focus on what you can learn from it and what you have done wrong or bad, and like, you know, what you can do better based off that experience, you know? Because self-hate, self-criticism does not help you in any ways. So, and it diminishes your values. It actually darken your lenses you are wearing. You know, not actual lenses, but you know, kind of like perspective or perception. Yeah. So that you can do. But going back to the topic, you know, this life is like literally limitless unless you limit yourself. And to do that, you need to be confident. And so I talked about a couple of things you can try to boost your confidence. And what else? And sometimes that's what I'm dealing with, or you know, something I am trying to change, but I tend to complicate things even though I don't have to, you know, like it is not complicated, but you know, in my brain, in my mind, I would be like freaking out and like, you know, complicate things more than it actually is. Does that make sense? And I think in my videos, I talk about like, you know, I say like, this is hard, this is difficult, this is complicated, but maybe it's not. It's just I am complicating it, right? I don't know why I talked about it, but it's just simple. That's what I'm gonna talk about, yeah. It's that simple. It's like, you know, it's about what you focus on in your life, and it's up to you you get to decide however you want to live your life, like the way you live your life. And, you know, there is always like positive good side and negative bad side, positive, negative, bad, good, you know, side of everything. So, and I also wanted to say everything happens on this planet or in this reality as neutral, but humans are the one who put labels on it, or you know, put emotions to it, you know, good or bad or negative or positive, you know. So it's literally up to us to like how you see it, how you perceive, how you interpret these things as. That's what you can control actually. So yeah, I'm just here to remind you that your life is limitless unless you limit yourself. Yeah, it's so easier said than done. You have to be confident to not to limit yourself, but I just want you to know that your life, like sky is the limit. Yeah, thank you so much for watching today's video again, or your first time, welcome. Thank you so much for watching, and I'm not just saying this, I genuinely hope you have wonderful, magical, mystical, wonderful, amazing, awesome days, morning, night, whenever you're watching this video, and I will see you in the next one. You are limitless. Your life is limitless. Just remember that, and talk to you soon.